Middle Class Rut formed probably formally in maybe the end of 2007, first part of 2008. Sean and I had been playing together in tons of bands before for 10 years before that. So we've been around a long time. This band was started in about 08, 07, 08.
School of Hard Knocks. No, we just
School of Life, man.
We've been doing it like that since we were 12 or 13. We had the little Tascam Porta 3 4-track cassette recorder, and we just always had something like that around. And so we kind of, it's sort of like the third member of this band. You know, it's kind of how a lot of the stuff is written actually is while it's being recorded. You record, and you start doing some vocals over it, and next thing it's a new low. So, yeah.
I mean, on the first record, probably there was way casual social commentary.
Yeah,
it never got too deep politically, but yeah, I mean, there's
every once in a while something will get thrown in there, but most it's just personal frustration, and sometimes that becomes a political thing. Or
we definitely don't set out to be, like a Rage Against the Machine, where what I mean.
Just don't know enough about it. It's just too much happening to really even be able to know.
Yeah, definitely. So, was there like an idea behind the new album, like a theme, or was it just a collection of kind of ideas that you had?
Yeah, there wasn't a preset plan. Just it was time to put out some more music. We'd exhausted ourselves on the road, completely burnt on playing the first round of songs, and all right, it's time to do a record, and then you do a record, and then we'll put it out a year from now, by which time it'll be burnt on those. And here we're finally out touring this new record that we finished it back in October of last year. Yeah, so it's been done a while. That's mostly we owe that to our buddy Lance, who directed. He directed all three of our videos. The kind of guy we met with early on through our label, hit it off really well. Going back and forth with ideas, sending him music, and then it's time to do Busy Being Born video. What's it gonna be? And we had the date down. Got to do it. No idea. How about this? Everything was shit. Nothing felt right. And then it had to have been a week and a half, 2 weeks before the shoot date. He's like, I found an old zoo that's abandoned in LA that we can rent out. I have these ideas. These kids just beating each other up. They look like small versions of you. He said, you guys are going to play in what used to be a lion's den. He said, sounds great, we'll be there. So he's just really good at, we don't do narrative videos, so to speak, that go along with the songs, but he's really good at creating a whole new mood to kind of go along with whatever song we put out there. Raised by the 90s.
Yeah, the whole 90s grunge and rock scene is what we kind of grew up listening to. So it was Nirvana and Tool and Rage,
Alice in Chains, Pumpkins,
Pearl Jam,
all the classics stuff.
All the classics. Yeah, I mean that was what we grew up on. We feel actually pretty fortunate that that's what was playing on the radio back then. Those bands.
Anything right now? You feel time to listen to new music?
We have all, man, we sit driving for hours and hours and hours. We should have all the time in the world. We're just terrible at getting in if someone hands you something, it's like, oh shit, maybe I'll check this out.
Yeah.
But in terms of going out and seeking new music, I still don't even know where to begin, where to find it, how do I know which website to listen to. It's just, that's why I wish the radio was better, because as a kid you'd hear something and go, oh shit, like I want to check that out. I haven't turned the radio on in 10 years and thought that, last time that happened was Against Me, and I thought they were this like brand new band, and I do some research, they've been around forever too.
You got some few good radios in California, don't you? Like K-Rock and stuff.
Yeah, and they're good stations. a certain percentage of the time.
But they're playing the same music that we were listening to 15, 20 years ago.
They're not letting any new ones in.
I don't need to hear Red Hot Chili Peppers, Under the Bridge again. Like, we've heard it,
Why do they do that? Is it just...
It's a safe thing to do, and that's what keeps the ratings high and keeps all the sponsorships and all the ads.
Everyone's going out of business. Rock radio's falling apart, so God, we better play what we know works, and that's why, the biggest bands now are still the same bands that were big when we were kids, and now we're playing with all of them.
Yeah,
but there's not a whole lot of doors open for new bands unless you want to really, of course there's plenty of new bands around, but not at the same level, you know what I mean? As I guess we're used to. There's not a whole new generation of it. It's just like select few get to make it through, and then it just becomes a trend, like Mumford & Sons or something.
I think that's just got to be what happens when you have this the same amount of market and the same amount of money, but it's spread out over 1,000 times more products. Like if you went to the cereal aisle 30 years ago, it was probably 4 boxes of cereal, and that's all you had. And now you've got 1,000 different kinds of cereal you can get, and that's just the way it goes. There's so many choices.
We don't even eat breakfast anymore.
And everybody gets accused of ripping off somebody else. Like, I can't even get into a new band now without somebody typing in and being like, oh yeah, they sound just like these other dudes. You should check out these other dudes, they're way better. I'm like, man, can't I just enjoy like a new thing without it being a ripoff or something? But who knows? I think we're probably the band that's like, those videos that are made where the dude's moving in super slow-mo and then everything around him is just like he's just like, I think that's us in the middle, just refusing to go at the same pace that everything else is moving around us.
We have the cassettes, man.
Yeah, we still want to do like a record on cassette and just like make people go buy Walkmans to be able to listen to it,
Anything that, we feel we invest so much time into what we do. If someone doesn't even have the time to invest in listening to
an entire song,
what chance do we even have? This is all we do. I was in Rio Linda, California, a little bit outside of Sacramento. At a buddy of ours, his parents own a plot of land, and it's his parents and his grandparents and his house and their property. Everything in the video is that's their home.
That's their world.
Was it a fun shoot?
It was a very fun shoot. Yeah.
Not quite as fun for them, especially after they saw the video.
Yeah, they weren't really that happy about it,
but it was, we definitely weren't trying to,
I love the props. Did you hire someone to make all the props?
It was all stuff that was
real,
there.
Man. It's all at this house. That's why it was so amazing.
There wasn't a dime in the budget for any of that stuff. Everything you see in there was laying around in some form or another. It'll blow your mind, man.
We bought some props thinking like Lance had kind of went around for a couple days and gathered a couple things.
A wheelchair.
Not knowing what was going to be up there. And then as soon as we actually got to this house, we're like, we don't need any of this shit because this is way better.
There was like 6 different wheelchairs there. And we're like, man, the one we have looks so new and like lame. Like, we need this old one, And boom, that's the one you see him on. Like, everything was just like a gold mine. Man.
Yeah, it was.
Disneyland.
Hey, I'm Zach, this is Sean, we're Middle Class Rut, and you're listening to Shout for Music.